In this video, I'm going to talk about something that most guys don't want to hear about if they have a quote girlfriend or maybe they're married. Sharp King coming at you with another episode from ChooseYourRelationships.com, offer of Boss Life Secrets, which can be found on Amazon.com. So, this is something that I've talked about previously in the past. And in a previous video, I had a guy left a comment and said, he said, hey, I'm feeling you where you was coming from. Because I told a story in a previous video. And he said, hey, what you trying to say that we're not supposed to, we can't trust women? No, I'm not saying that. But the thing that a lot of guys don't want to deal with is the longer you're with or around a woman. I'm talking today's time. I'm not talking about back in the day. Back in the day, things were different. Back in the day, things were very different. Today, we live in a very different society. Today, we live in a very fast and sometimes vicious society with vicious and backstabbing and cutthroat people that's out here. And whether you know or not, the environment where you live, it affects you. Whether you're aware of it, you can be in denial about it, but it affects you, whether you're aware of it or not. And the people that you come in contact with, it affects them as well, whether they know it or aware of it or not. They might be in denial. They might think they're untouchable. And a lot of people are not in tune with what's going on out here. You're going to meet people, majority of people you meet are going to be like that. They're not in tune with what's really going on out here. They're just basically just trying to have a good time. You know, they're not really, they're kind of self-absorbed and kind of not, they're not really interested in really getting to know anybody. They think it's all about them. Most people are like that, self-absorbed. They think it's really all about them. They'd rather be focused on themselves 100% of the time than you or anybody else for that matter. They don't even care about the kids. A lot of people are like that. Now they won't admit that. They play it off well. People have mastered putting on a good face. You know? So a lot of guys, the longer you're around a woman, the more likely she's going to want to be with another man. I'm going to say this, if your woman is out in the streets, when I say out in the streets, meaning that she comes in contact with a lot of people, a lot of guys, a lot of women. Let's say she has a traveling job, a job that she goes in and out of town a lot. Maybe she goes out of town every 2 weeks, twice a month. And let's say she's had this job 5, 10, 20 years. And let's say, she's a social butterfly, easygoing woman. You know, she's a people person or whatever. Now, more than likely, this woman's going to be married. And more than likely, she slept with somebody else while she was out and about. Of course, she's not going to admit to it. Whether it's somebody at work, maybe it's the boss, maybe it's another co-worker, or maybe it could be a complete stranger that she met at a hotel when she was out of town somewhere. Now, a lot of this is going to be based on her personality. That's what it really comes down to, you know. And it depends on where she met the guy at, how she met the guy. Now, it goes down at the job. These guys be knocking these women down at the job. See, a lot of guys don't want to deal with that. You know, a lot of guys kind of like, they kind of know something's going on at the job, but they'll say, hey, she's that's a part of the job. So it's kind of like, it's like socially accepted, kind of, you know, which is very interesting. Just like, for example, if a woman tells her husband that she has to stay late, say, oh, I'll be here till 9, 10 o'clock or something like that, 8, 9, 10 o'clock. He doesn't even think of anything else. He's kind of like, oh, okay, all right, cool, whatever, you know. And this could go on for years, you know. Or she'll go out of town with the boss. She might be secretary or some type of personal assistant or whatever. So they might go to town for a weekend or 2 weeks, however long it is. A lot of guys won't even think. They'll be like, oh, okay, she's doing the job or whatever. A lot of times, these women, they might have their hotel room. They'll have their hotel room separate, but then they'll be in the room with the other coworkers. You know, this stuff happens all the time. But this is kind of, and a lot of people already, they know it happens, but it's kind of like socially accepted. You know, it's kind of like, there's some women that'll do anything to keep their jobs. They'll do anything to get promoted on these jobs. If you have a girl and she hangs with her girlfriends a lot on the weekends, if she prefers to hang with her girlfriends more than you, more than likely, it's only a matter of time. She's gonna run into the right guy, and he's gonna hit that. She'll come back home. Of course she'll come back home. But more than likely somebody gonna hit that. It's like I said, the more she's out in the streets, interacting, meeting different type of people, her mindset is not really thinking. She's not really thinking of home much because she's being pulled elsewhere. And a lot of this is based on her personality and how she sees things, her perception. But for the most part, somebody's gonna hit that. A lot of guys already know this. A lot of guys already know that their woman has slept with another guy. But they just don't want to deal with it. Because, you know, the old saying goes, what you don't know won't hurt you. So they don't really have no proof. But they know something ain't right. It's like a lot of women are like this too. They know the guy that they, you know, been with other women, but they just don't want to deal with it. So it's kind of like, what you don't know won't hurt you. I don't got no proof. Just don't bring no woman over to the house. Don't be disrespectful. It's all good. But see, a lot of guys don't want to deal with it at all because that hurts their egos. You know, a lot of guys feel like, see, they treat the woman like it's like property or something like that. You don't own the woman. Look, she can leave any time. And it's nothing you can really do about it. You can beg or whatever. That might work, might not. But if a woman wants to be with another guy for just for one night, or just for a few hours, there's nothing you can really do about it but be there. You catch her in the act. That's the only thing that you could do. But seriously, on a serious note, there's nothing you can really do. Really. Nothing you can really do. You know, the longer you're together, if it's just you and her, together all the time, her mind, and if she has to go to that job, at some point, her mind is going to wander. Temptation is everywhere, especially on these jobs. That's just what it is. Especially if she look halfway decent, she take care of herself, she's not overweight. That's just what it is. A lot of guys don't want to deal with it, you know. I'm not saying you should be okay with it. I'm just telling you how it goes down out here. And the reason why I know this, because I've been one of those guys that was on the side. I was one of those guys that women lied to me and said they wasn't married. I ended up hitting it a few times. And afterwards, I found out she was married. That's why I know what goes down. I've worked plenty of jobs. I can't count how many jobs I've had at this point. And the same thing happens at every job. These big Fortune 500 companies, 100 companies, the same thing happens. There's temptation at every job. The only thing that changed, the only thing that's different about these jobs is the women, the quality of the women. The women look better, some look worse, some overweight. But for the most part, the temptation is there. These guys is tearing it up in these offices, man. And like I said, a lot of women look at it like, hey, this is part of the job. Like, this is my career. My career. They use that word very lightly. So they feel like, hey, they got to do what they got to do. And a lot of women, check this out. Another thing that's interesting. A lot of women look at it like, hey, if this is what it takes, if I have to get on my knees and slob on a knob or bust it open, if that's what it takes for me to move up in corporate America, well, so be it. Plus, her husband should understand that. And a lot of guys do go along with it. A lot of guys will kind of be like, hey, okay, yeah, I understand. You know, a lot of guys do go along with it. They might not accept it. They won't like it. But they'll go along with it because that paycheck is coming to the house. See, as long as that paycheck is coming to the house, they'll justify why their wives or girlfriends is doing something that they dislike. Go figure. So hey, if you like this video, share this video. Tell me what you think about this. If you've worked in any corporate job for a couple of years, or at least as long as I have, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying to be true. Now, you might not, outside of the corporate world, you might be like, you know, I don't know about that so much. But on these jobs, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You know, if you worked in these jobs long enough that I have. So tell me, what's been your experience? What do you think about it? Do you think if a woman works a corporate job, should her sexual activity be a part of the job? Should her husband, should her man be understanding of that, or should be accepting of that? Or, you know, tell me what you think, how you feel about that. Leave your comments in the below this video. Until next time, I'm out. Peace.